G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I teach beginners how to paint in acrylic. I want to get some sizes on the canvas there for you before we get started, and also I want to get some colours going up the screen as well. Now this is going to be a misty mountain track trail road track misty mountain trail scene kind of thing, and I want to put these elements in it and teach you how you can do them, so when it's on the wall that man's going to go, I tell you what, look at that painting over there everybody, have a look at this. It's bloody beautiful. It's going to have that effect on that bloke, all right? And this is something you can do. So come on over here and let's get right into it. Now this is all going to be me sky. I do want the sun peeking through that misty cold sky, and I've just got some hillside flowing and sweeping down here into the front of the painting coming at us. Now down on the palette I've got some soft student paint, craft paint, poster paint or flowing white paint. Okay, it's just something a lot cheaper and flowy than what you get out of your tubes of artist paint. Okay, I call it craft paint, poster paint, student paint, flow white paint. That's just what I call it. It probably does have its own name. Now no retarder in there, just a bit of water, because I'm spraying it with my squirty bottle. If you don't have any water, private message me and I can send you some water for about $79.85. I can send you some water if you don't have any water, all right? So let's get right into this. I just want to prime up the area where I'm going to do my sky, the misty sky. So we'll get all this crisscrossed into the sky area. Now I don't have any retarder in here. Why not? Because I'm not blending any beautiful different colours and clouds. I just want this to sit back the grey, greeny, misty sky colour that I'm putting on. That's just going to be a one colour. And this helps lighten it down, tint it down. So I'm going pretty much to where my ground cover would be. Okay, I've got it all in there. I'm looking, I can see light crossing the canvas. And now I'm going to use the tip of the brush and just stroke that left and right. And I'm just stroking that like a gentleman. Now work out what flavour you want for your sky. I'm going for that antique green that I've got here, the green grey. You can have a grey blue sky or just a grey sky, but I'm going for this colour, and I want it green, but we're going to lighten it up a bit more, okay, because I want to be able to come forward with some other colours in there. So I can pretty much get all that white. I'm looking for that. I pretty much want white, but you can see the difference from white to this green. I want just a hint of that green in there. So I'll get all this on there. Love this colour. And see that white that I put on there? For those people who don't know, that helps the coloured paint glide across it. It's a toothed canvas that's gonna grip and glide, and if you do have to do any blending, it works great. Okay, so I've got it all in there, and I want to use this same brush now, but going to the tips of the bristles, and I'm just going to stroke that left and right, and it's already on and blended. See how long that took? That didn't take long at all. Now I've got me green again, and I want to, that's what's on the sky. I want to slowly get a darker value of that. I'm using a fan brush. That's a bit too dark, so I'll keep mixing some more white back into that. And I just want some real distant trees in this mist. The colour of these trees is what's going to make up the mist in the, oh that's beautiful, in the sky, okay? Look at your layout and work out where you want some stuff. I probably want some stuff scooting down here, but I don't want it in a way where it looks like naughty boys lined up against the wall at school because they were doing the wrong thing. I want to sort of come and have it all over the place. So I might get a, let's say I want a mountain here-ish, so I might get something right in the background of that and use what brush. I hope this is going to work for me. I'm just going to get some scratchy pine or Everglade trees out in the background there, bring it down nice and soft, just somewhere here. So I'm going to have something there, so I want this one kind of, now see these strokes, I just went that way there. You want these up and down as best as you can, because a lot of trees in nature are up and down. You get the odd ones falling over, but in general in a painting, you want them up and down. So we're just going right down. I'm going down enough because when I put that other thing there, I don't want a gap between them, okay? So I'm making sure I'm coming down enough. Heavy and light in places, let it evaporate and disappear somewhere there like that. I'm having fun doing this. I feel like I'm having fun, and when you feel like you're having fun, you are. All right, there off the painting, boom. Now I'm going to bring it down. There's no detail in here, there's just subject matter. Okay, I'm going to bring it down enough to there. My paint's still wet, and that's, like I said, I didn't need retarder because I'm not blending a lot of different colours and clouds. Okay, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Now we're going to grab some more green and darken it up again. Now use whatever green you want. I've just got a green grey, mix of green grey if you don't. Okay, well before I do that, I want to put that glare in the sky. So I've got a pouncer. Use your finger if you don't have a pouncer, and I've got some good titanium white, and I just want to, this will stand out on top of that green, okay? And I want something maybe just off center here. I want to stip it on, and now I'm going to dance around the outside like that. Just like this. And if you feel, oh, it's a bit textured and stipply for me, Ian, fair enough, stop, use your finger and manipulate that within the painting. But when you do manipulating movements with your fingers or even a brush, you've got to constantly wipe the stuff. I'm going to leave the middle there. I love all this teasing out into that green. It looks artistic. Constantly wipe. So you can do this with your finger. It's very easy. That's why I say when I do a painting, you can do it, because once you know what to do, you can do it. Okay, so we've pretty much got that distorted, and it kind of looks like the sun seeping through a warm, misty, lit atmosphere of a sky there. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I mean, don't you? Look at that, that looks quite nice in real life. I'll have a look in the monitor and see how that's looking. That's fine. I will grab my blending brush because I am seeing stop starting of these two paints, so I just want to merge that with the corner of my brush now. I don't want to see that stop starting of the two. Just blend it through. Without using your finger, you could probably even use your brush if you want. What works for you, that's all that matters. Now back over this side with the darker colour, I've probably got something coming here. Now these are a bit closer, so obviously they're darker. Come off the painting. And with this line, with the top of these, I pretty much want to come down into the middle of the painting with them. That's what I pretty much want to do. So I'm going to keep them straight again. Keep picking up your brush and load it, so look at that, it's nice and sharp where it's reaching the sky. Leave some gaps in there. There's always gaps in nature's layout like that. Nice and sharp at the top. I'm adding more. And feel, well, it's a bit draggy and thick. You might have to spray that little bit of water on it. I want to come down far enough so I can put my next row of closer trees in front of it. So if you want to paint this painting, be sure to watch the whole video first to know exactly what I've done. And look how easy this is, eh? See, now what I'm doing here just might be one simple thing I'm doing in the video, but when you try it, you might have difficulty. This is something you can do on the inside of a Wheaties packet. Open it out and turn it inside out and practice brush strokes like this, okay? And then once you got them straight and you know what you're doing, you won't have trouble. Now I want to come just down here a bit. There we go. So we've set those ones back and give some of these a bit of a point. Now I'm getting some more of that paint because I want to put a field in front of those trees before I come forward, because this is going to have an offset one there. So this can just come down like so, all the way over there, boom. Nice and sharp against the bottom of those trees there, just like that. And just paint that in where it's going to be. I'm just using this fan brush, but I could have used something else. Up here as well. pushing that other area back, because I do want to have another tree here and I need a ground for that tree to sit on. All right, so I'll get some of this there, sweeping, flowing into the painting. Now I've given this a dry and I've got a soft brush and I've got some of that good titanium white. I just want to get it on the brush and then pull it away a bit. And maybe about here, I just want to try and mystify the bottom of those trees, because I'm going to put something in front, but I just want this separating it, giving it a bit of distance, maybe about this far. So I want to try and create some fog, smoke, mist-like, okay? And that's why I dried it, because if I didn't dry it, I feel that would have mudded up with that colour there, okay? Pretty easy, wasn't it? You can do that. We're just making that into smoke, distant mist. All right. Now I've got some forest green here, and I'm going to pick up this antique green as well, just to get a darker value of that. So we've got there, and I'm going to add the forest green as I want that darker bit in there, okay? Now I've just used a totally different brush, and these are going to sit, these are like some forward shrubs, just air up in between them. I'm going to do my style of shrub. That's what I know how to do. These are in front of what's there, and where I put that bit of mist, I can come over that and frame it into the painting like that. Now this here is going to have dark in it. I'll put some dark in it once I get this mapped on. So we're pretty much coming there. These are like bush shrubs, whatever, I don't know, something different in there. And when I add the darks, it'll make up the difference. You'll see. Now, if you're hungry for knowledge and hints and tips to the way I paint, don't skip through my video, because there's so much you could lose and miss out on, okay? Now we're going to slowly bring this forward here, because the road, track, trail or whatever is going to finish out there somewhere. Coming over there like that. Now I've got to get some darks in there, because it won't look the part if it doesn't have the darks. I suppose we can put some kind of tree back here as well. Let's try and put something in front of there, make it up as we go. Whatever tree you're good at doing, put him in there. I'm doing some kind of evergreen tree there. Just coming in front of that. I want a nice bright area there. And this is coming just over that grassy area there. Okay, so I've got that green, I've got some burnt umber here, and we'll get our dark value mix in there. And pretty much all the bottom of this, I want to scoot up and put depth within the bottom of this foliage line. Now if it's too wet and you feel it's grabbing, which I feel it is, dry it. So I've given that a dry. I can press a bit heavy now, and I'm radiating that darker colour all the way along, mainly the bottom and coming up into that shrubbery there, because we will add a little bit of highlights just to this, just to give it a bit more wow. I like that look, you know, adding bullshit. Now this is, I want a bit in there. I did put a bit over here on off camera just to gap this area, this corner up. Now I'll just highlight that, make it look good. So I've got some titanium white and the forest green here, and we'll get this highlighted. Now this, you can sink it back into the mist a bit more of this if you want to, if you feel there's too much dark there. I'm feeling this tree's a little bit heavy, so I'm going to Just kind of put some dimension in it with this brush, leaving the dark value there, but tinkering along, coming over there like that. That'll do. It was a bit too dark for me. Over here we're really light on the top, really light on the top, the lighter colour, and it's just going to slowly jingle, jangle and dangle down into those darker colours there. And that's what we're going to do on the other side as well. And you can see having those darks underneath where you're placing any light colour, it looks right and it doesn't look like it's floating on your painting. Nice and light up the top there. Dangle it in that dark area that you've put there. Now this one here I'm going to bring right in front of that. It changes the shape of your shrubs and bushes or whatever when you bring them all over and past things. See how light I'm hitting? You don't want a big thick blob like that, otherwise it looks like snot. We'll come down. This is just something, an exercise a beginner can take on and work out what they need to master, what they can work on, or what's working for them already. And it's so good to be doing a painting and knowing, wow, I'm liking this, it's working for me, I know what I'm doing, I know where I need help, I know I need to master this bit a bit more, whatever. This is what this sort of painting can do for you as a beginner. It just looks a bit, I don't know, all right. Now I'm just grabbing that colour and see how this dark is sort of messy onto this colour green here. I'm just kind of using this to put some kind of ground cover or lawn in front of that, just sinking it back periodically here and there. We can use the paint that's already down as undercolour, okay? Because this is way in the background there. See here, you just want to, something like that. Now if things are going to get covered up, it doesn't matter. If you're still painting a part of the painting, paint it in there, so when it's covered up, it makes sense. See, a lot of this might even get covered up, at least it's making sense. Alright, that's it. Now I've done that, and you're a beginner, you can be excused for leaving it like that, but why leave it like that when you know you can do something a little bit better? I want to get some of the shadow piercing out onto there so it doesn't look like it's just been cut off. And I've got some forest green back over to this pile here just to see the value difference. I want to get it a little bit darker and just join some of that shadow into the field out there. So let's say like here, come from the dark a little bit and just kind of join it, and then easily pierce it out in a, fix your brush up, in a stroking manner, okay? I want to kind of get some darkness scooting down there. When you know where to put the shadows for trees and that, it does add that sense of realism to a painting. I'm not going for realism in this painting, but I'm just going for matter that can help you in your art journey as a beginner, okay? See how I'm fading that bottom dark area into the ground area there? Just come out a bit. And if it's not dark enough, put a bit more dark green into it. Gently as you go though. Always do baby footsteps. There we go. See, I didn't have to do that. You rewind this video to before I put this on, have a look, you'd probably like it, and then fast forward it to this part right here and see the difference it made. Now I've dried this, we're going to put the foreground on there. We've got a trail and we've got some land either side. I want this to be a dark value. It can be black, it can be a dark brown, red, whatever. I'm just going to use burnt umber, and I've sprayed some water there just to get our dark value on the canvas. And this is going to come pretty much, where are we? I want to come off the painting just in front of that, come up here, and I want to come down there like that. Boom. That's where I want the top of that. You can use a small flat if you want. I'm just using this because it don't muck around. And we're going to come up here. That top edge is where I want to stay. I'll probably go about there like that. Okay, now finish it off with sweeping brush strokes the way you want your land to look. So I want it all sweeping down here like this. Sweeping down. I've got a bit of yellow on my brush. I hope that doesn't get in there. But anyway, this is just the underpainting of the foreground here. So I've got another brush and I just want to bring where that land's going to come. I've got a little flat. This land's going to come along the edge of the path, so I want that path probably leading all the way in there. There we go, just like that. Boom, that. Boom. Now you can do this without a path if you want, it's totally up to you. Now I've given that burnt umber a dry, and this is where you ask yourself, oh, what colour do I want me track, me trail, me path, whatever. I want mine a bit of a grey tony colours. So I've got grey down here, and I've got some burnt umber as well, just so I can get different flavours of grey, some dirt track grey colours. Now you need darks between this and the sides of your track, I feel. I love doing that anyway. Now don't go right over the edge of that. Leave some darkness there. So we're pretty much going to come all the way out here. I can darken the trees back where that's going in there. I can darken that back. But you want this can be scratchy. Now where's that line? It's there. Line is there. And somewhere here. Boom. That's where I want my road to come to. So this is going to come pretty much. I like to scratch it in first, and I'm going on the wrong angle at the moment, but I want to, I'll just get a bit of a line there, all the way there like that. Okay, there's me path layout. No, sorry, I want that a bit more out here, and then coming about there, sorry. I can fix that up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go left and right with me brush strokes, okay? And I want the edges to be broken up. You'll see what I mean. Now if you're at home sitting at a table, it'll be easier for you. You're not upright on an easel. You don't always have to paint at home on an upright easel the way I do. I do because I'm filming. So see how I've got those edges all scratched out there and broken? Like that. That's just what I want to do. And that's how I want to do it all the way along here. Bits in, bits out. Same on this side. Pick up some more. And we can fill in the middle with dark and lighter values. Okay, just finishing these strokes. Be sure to get them level left and right, not on an angle. It'll give you, you're finding the shape of your path, your trail, your track, whatever. It doesn't have to be too level. But those lines I put down on the edge, I'm trying to hide them as well. But on the same time, I need dark between this and when I do the field ground cover beside it, so it looks beautiful. Now see there, I just want to, we're going to put lighter and darker values of this path in there. Now what you can do, just a note, if you feel you don't like the edge of your grey, pick up the brown, like I'll do here as an example, and we can just dangle that back and tone it back to the, well, dry it first, I haven't dried it yet, but tone it back to where you want it, okay? Just like that. If you feel that's what's happened. Now I'm picking up some burnt umber and mixing more into that just to get a darker value so we can have some dirty areas in that path. We don't want it just to be the one tone. And maybe at the foreground here we'll get some, I'll get it a bit darker even. I have dried it because if you don't dry it it'll be a bit hard. So this is just burnt umber on its own, and I'm just trying to find some darker values within this trail. I don't want this to be solid burnt umber because it's gonna, I just want darker values within our trail track, so to speak, and blur them out. Nice strokes across your painting. I've got some titanium white there. I will grab some of that with the grey just to highlight some of the grey and work out, I don't know, where you might want some highlights scooting across all that dark, sinking the dark areas down. I'm just going to go willy-nilly like this. Oh, you know what I might do? I might put some stones in it. Love stones. So I'm picking up the burnt umber, and let's say, I don't know, along here somewhere, we'll get some dark bits all over the path there using the burnt umber. Let it scratch out into there because you're going to have rocks in there as well. I'm just using a small filbert. It's kind of like a flat brush, and we're going to just get those rock shadows in there. Just something along here I want, all along this edge, and then we're just creating some more drama aspects in your painting that just makes that person go, bullshit, look at that. Now before we do those rocks, I want to put the grass on the field to bring it to where I want it to go. I'm going to use some forest green and kind of come in the shape. I'll go over that brown line there a bit and come, I'm just using a flat hog bristle, and I want to come in the shape of the land, and we're going to have some a lot of dead colour within this as well. So I'm going to deliberately leave a gap between this ground cover and the trail. Now over this side, we want to push that background back. We're going to come here, boom, there, like that. And then I want to sit this right on top of that mound there, right on top. Coming down, a lot of dead colour, so we're there. Okay. Grabbing the burnt umber and the cad yellow, we're going to mix up this dead colour here. And back out here, we've got a lot of dead colour within here, within that. We've got pockets of green. Those greens are going to be highlighted where you're leaving, so don't worry about that. But in general, the majority of this ground, so all in between that green is this dead undergrowth colour. Okay, now we can highlight these rocks using our, where are we, grey, the grey browny colour. Get a bit of brown in there. So we've got such little dots out there, filtering back into the lawn there. There we go. And then we're going to start coming a bit bigger. Keep conditioning your brush as you load it. Conditioning means shaping the paint on the end of your brush. And this is going to pretty much put the rocks back and forth from each other, okay? Hopefully it's a different value than the footpath, and that's why I wanted to come in the grass here as well. It just bleeds in there like that. Look at that. Bit of luck. That man walking through your house will like this one. You know you're doing all right when someone you know, they say, did you paint that? Because that's their way of saying, bullshit, you didn't do that. But little do they know you're an artist. And you know they think it's bullshittingly good. Filter it back out into there, coming a bit bigger. Alright, now we'll put a bit more highlight on some of those. So to highlight them, where are we? I was using there, so I've got the grey, I'll put a bit more white in it over here. And we'll just put the lightest ones out there, yeah, not too much. And just hit those ones you put on. You don't want this too loud, you don't want it too bright. If it looks too bright, knock it back a bit, okay? I suppose over here. And if you don't like these rocks, simply don't do them. Alright? There we go. Now that flat brush I used for that ground cover, I'm going to grab that again, and I'm just going to, the forest green that I put on there, I'm going to grab some of the cad yellow. Okay, and we'll just subtly highlight some of that. And then we're pretty much going to find the tops of everything. Not just over the green, I want these ones now, but leaving a lot of that dark green there. But just find the green that you put down. Take your time, put the kettle on, relax, rub that jam and cream into a scone and enjoy looking at your painting before you take your next brush stroke while you're making that cup of tea and a scone, okay? And then we're going to do the same with the dead colour, the dried grass looking colour. Okay, so I'm cutting that background bit back because this is the actual colour. It's coming down there like so, highlighting that green, and then we've got this in front of it again, coming over here, right on the tip of that mound there. Now it's important to filter this through those browns, so by the time you highlight that brown dead colour, these colours aren't just butting up to each other, they're crisscrossing and they're spliced within each other, if you know what I mean. Take your time, enjoy that scone and keep the shape of the hill going. That's what it's all about. Art is a challenge every time. Doesn't matter how seasoned an artist is, I feel every time an artist picks up their brush and takes it to the canvas, that's a challenge, mate. Don't worry, it's a full-on challenge, no matter how seasoned they are. Now just one more thing before we highlight the dead colour. I'm grabbing a bit more yellow into that green, making it more of a yellow green. And I want to look and think, where would light be? So I'm just, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm going to get that brush fixed. Get the top of that sitting back. And I want to kind of band some light coming through on all that green, just probably through the guts of it right here. Turn your brush around. And I'll do the same on the other side. I'll have a look and think, Well, I feel some light needs to be showing there, so I'm going to do that like it's coming across here. All right, just like that. I feel I need to set that back for a start, so I'm going to band a bit of light all the way across here. All right, let's highlight that dead colour now, all right? So that colour here we had for the dead colour, I'm adding just more yellow, just a bit more yellow. Got some over here, if that's any good. Now let's find this and gently find those dead brown bits, not covering all the dead brown bits, but enough to scatter in between the green as well, so they're spliced together. Okay, they're not just next to each other, they're spliced through. Okay, now we're going to get this all filled up in there. I do feel I don't have much green here. I want more green out there, so I'm just going to pick up the yellow and the green and just see if we can add more out there. Oh yeah, look at that. Turn the headlights on, make it more opaque. I'll just come from the top, cut that down and get some of this brightening up through here in all the greens as well. People are walking around your house visiting you and they're distracted by the artwork. I've just mixed up some burnt umber and black. And see here, I want to get something from here but poking up into the sky as well. So we can grab, let's say from here. Oh, I'm going to go in front of that. Yeah, we'll go from about here. Okay, from there. And we'll come to about this height here. And we'll just put like a, I don't know, what do you call them? The pine tree, but you know, it's kind of dead. So I'm going to use this flat, I hope, to get its trunk in there. Oh, look at that, I missed me landing mark. That doesn't matter, that looks like another little stick next to it, doesn't it? So I'll get that up there. But I do want it quite thin at the top. In the ground there, coming down a bit. There we go. Okay, now I've got a detailed brush, a little liner or something, and I want to try and get these dead, like leaves on these things. I've got the, I'll set it right, push my brush down, and I'll kind of wiggle it off to a nice, if I can, a point. But they've got to be in uniform with the tree, like coming out wider at the bottom and probably getting a bit narrow. Some are broken off. Get your paint reasonably inky, but not transparent. I've just turned my canvas on its side so I can come down this way. And that trunk can be fattened up, but I'm just coming off the trunk and then coming to a point. Now this detailed brush was sent to me by a good friend of mine. She didn't want to be named, but she knows who she is, so thank you for these brushes here, my dear. Much appreciated. So we'll turn that up the right way and just have a look. There we go, we've got a lot of dead fall colours on there as well. While I've still got that colour, I want to grab some of this dark paint and put some fence posts here coming down the side of the track. Try and keep them in perspective. Now I'm just going probably reasonably same edge away from the edge of the painting there. I mean from the road, okay? And I'll just slowly come wider apart and a bit taller at the top, but keeping the bottoms roughly that same edge away from the path. So as they'll kind of come in perspective. We'll put one falling down. Wet your brush a bit, flicked it too much at the bottom, not to worry. We'll get some falling down like it's leaning over. Some cow tried to get out of the paddock and he leaned on it and just couldn't quite get over the fence, but he ruined it anyway. And we'll put something about here. Yeah, it's fallen over. See, it's coming closer towards us, so the posts are getting a lot fatter. And then we'll probably put a nice big one about here somewhere. Boom. Get the bottom done. About to there. Load the brush up again. And then I want to put this is just the depth of the post. It's going to be brighter than this, but you need this dark colour there for the lights to stand out, okay? There we go. And if you want, you can just scrumble some dark snot here in front of that tree. It's dark, and it's coming down that. Use a better brush than this. I'm just using this one because it's what's in my hand, and that's coming down that mound, the side of the ravine there. Now I've got some raw sienna dark. I will put a bit of white on my palette as well, just in case I'm going to need it. And we just want to, this is the colour of the post, okay? But if I just put this colour on there, they'd look too much like they're floating. Now leave the bottom of your post reasonably dark, and this can be scratchy. Oh. Now, did I tell you or not? I didn't know if I said it or not, but I did dry the post anyway. And we want to bring this down, but leaving the bottom of the post reasonably dark, okay? Play with it till you feel you got it. Slightest hint of that colour on there. Added a bit more white to give it a bit more opaqueness. There we go. Now that post is going to stand out like the bee's knees. Yay, look at that. There we go. I've just washed all that off the brush. That bit of green, yellowy green, we can grab that. That bit of mumble jumble mess here, we can probably put some kind of front of that. Keeping the darks under it, but you're kind of making some kind of shrub that grew at the bottom of that tree there. And we kind of just on the top areas. Filbert would have been better for this, but I'm just using this brush because it's what's in my hand. Coming right out of the edge, leaving the dark there. Too bright, isn't it, eh? So we'll just grab the green back again and we'll set it down. Pretty simple. There we go. It's wet, it's mudding up, that's fine. The mudding up will help set it down. I just blobbed all that black again because I just turned it into snot. So I'm grabbing my little proper brush for that now with the green on it. And I hope we'll just put this in front there, a bit of a, there we go, bits of dark there like that, down to the bottom. All right, and I can gently highlight that now because I just killed it. Is that enough? Something there like that. That looks a little bit better. I might just put a bit lower there. Now just to finish it off, I want to put some slight foliage on this tree so it just doesn't look like a dead object in the middle of our painting. I've got some Australian sienna and I've got some white there, and I want to marble it up, and I want to gently put some bits and pieces within this. Just a beautiful flavour. Cheeky me, some of those leaves pretended to fall down on the ground here on the path, so yeah, I just put some of them there. Now I don't know how much more I want to muck with that, but you can keep going till the cows come home, hey? So let's put a frame on it, see how she looks. Now that ain't too shabby. We've got a misty mountain trail with some stones and foliage, trees, depth and distance. And just remember, you can do that. Okay, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Share, like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. But if you don't like what you're seeing here, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.